Welcome to your magical moon message. This is the Peace Dealer, Moon in Taurus, Sun in Gemini. This is the balsamic phase, proceeding a true game changer that is sure to put a smile on your face. There's so much that you've been holding on to that you're releasing because you're understanding with this moon in Taurus the value, your own personal individual value, in ways that make your old thoughts about your value obsolete. And so effectively, you're letting go, you're casting away your lots, you're clearing the field before we sow new seeds. So while this imaginary war on incels is going on, and some of you people really believe that people have nothing better to do than to take automatic guns and weapons and shoot other people, maybe you just really believe these productions. Seriously, I'm not gonna say too much because you might think that it's a stretch to think that all of the shootings that you've seen in this country are staged, but you don't know how deep this rabbit hole goes. So instead of arguing with any of you, I'm just gonna ask you a simple question. Outside of hearsay, how do any of you know that most of these produced and heinous tragedies have actually happened? I'm not saying that they haven't actually happened, and it's actually more probable to believe that at least some of them have. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, how many of you actually know any of the people involved in these tragedies, anybody in these tragedies or these tragedies? I am willing to bet my entire career that 99.99% of you don't know. It's hearsay. At most, you have either heard about someone who knows, or you heard about someone who knows somebody. Every single else of you heard it from the news. And this issue of narratives is so important because Saturn in Aquarius is working heavy. The shadow of Saturn is Satan, and the devil never stops working, but God always works harder, as you know and see. More people are woke than ever. Bill Gates done fucked up and woke up like too many people thinking he was slick. I'm just telling the truth. Biden, you too. Anyway, you necromancers who can have the dead people vote for you, that is still legendary. I just want to be very transparent and clear because my mother told me something in Bible study last week, talking about, it's crazy that there's shootings like this all over the world. And I was like, actually, no, that only happens in America. That don't happen anywhere else. And she was like, no, that happens all over the world. And then later I saw stats and I was like, yeah, no, this shit only happens in America. And I saw a fucking picture of black people of part of the mass shootings. Well, I've never heard of black people killing. I've never heard of black people shooting up schools with the intent of actually killing people, unless it was like some gang related shit. And even this narrative that it's just white people and incels, I need you to understand that is entirely fabricated. Remember, this is Gemini season, a Mercury retrograde that's squaring Saturn, and also the sun squaring Neptune. So like, you're being inundated with all these weird, strange perspectives of theories. Now you have millions of people, instead of confronting these real issues, wave this magic wand and blanket of mental health issues. And you have people really believing that, there's just these incels out here that have nothing better to do than to shoot up schools. You're fucking stupid if you believe that. I'm sorry. If you even believe it's possible to, let's just limit their guns. That's based off of a narrative. You can't even prove that shit is not orchestrated just to get that conversation in your heads. That's why I'm not going to argue with anybody. In combating these narratives, let's just take the scientific method and approach. There's no Virgo, there's no Sag. So I've proved that 99.99% of you cannot at all really even confirm that any of this is true outside of you being reported it. And that applies to almost any news story. That's not saying that that means it's staged. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that means you just don't know for sure. You only believe what you're being reported. So you cannot blame these Muslims for worshiping Allah, and you can't blame these Christians for believing in Jesus, because you have a faith too. You have a faith too, and these motherfuckers be lying to you. So I don't know what kind of Stockholm Syndrome shit that is, but this is where the moon in Taurus is going to help you understand your worth and value like never before. Let me tell you something. Because they'll have you believe and bring race into this, okay? They be kidnapping people in Nigeria. Like, people get clapped. I remember my dad drove back on his way to a funeral because some people ambushed them after the cops did their extortion thing that's just common there. A little farther down, some people came through with semi-automatic weapons, like guns, started pulling people over. My dad, Aries, made the U-turn, came back all there. So, like, it's dangerous in Nigeria. Like, people get clapped. Seriously. Even police get clapped out there. You know what they don't fucking do? They don't fucking shoot up schools. Okay? They get fucking busy in Saudi Arabia, dog. Like, they will fucking, let me find out. Like, thank you. They will fucking cut your head live on the street. They still stone motherfuckers out there in the Middle East. And, like, do what most people here would call heinous. You know what they don't fucking do out there? They don't fucking shoot up schools, dog. Like, they don't. Bro, they get busy in Russia, my dude. Like, you have no idea. They get busy even in America. Even these super racist white people back then, you know what they didn't do? They didn't fucking shoot up schools. You know, so, like, I don't know who's believing this dumbass narrative that Americans are just so unwily. Looks like you want to take their guns. I'm sorry, this is what it is. That's just what it looks like to me. If you really believe a string of events can happen that quick in succession, actually, it's very believable, especially considering how Pluto is on its way out of Capricorn. Weakening infrastructure and government authority is going to make it so that you can't call the cops. But still, you'd have to be pretty naive to believe that, especially this close to elections, you know, now we can just blame the incels again and wave the mental health wand to act like we give a fuck before nothing really happens. And, you know, more government projects show you what's really important. Cha-ching at the bottom line. So it is what it is, man. I'm not really here to, like, argue conspiracy theories with anybody, but it is very important to take a more critical look at how you identify and think independently and individually with narratives that are very hardcore, wanting to influence how you think, especially when most of these are fabricated, just completely made up bullshit. Seriously. Yeah. Once again, I'm not necessarily saying that the person who is involved in this very famous shooting, I'm not saying that that has to necessarily be staged. That can definitely be a very real thing. It's more probable to spin real events. I'm saying none of you really know that person at all. Every one of you that knows that person, that you're seeing his mom is saying, please don't judge him. You don't know the mother. You don't know him at all. You don't even know people who know him. All you know is that a collective news broadcasted this after they tried to do their whole racism thing, and you motherfuckers didn't take the bait. I think you had post-extortion from George Floyd. Barack Obama talking about, I know those kids died, but we haven't forgotten about George Floyd. Like, it's like, you know what time it is. Okay, so, you know what I mean? Like, I guess people didn't take the racism bait, and so they were just like, fuck, let's remix Sandy Hook. Get another incel. Like, do you think, like, do you really, I'm sorry, bro. Yeah. So the only reason why I'm expressing this is it takes a very strong mind to speak. I see a lot of people speaking out against this stupidity and openly affirming and acknowledging how they refuse to give in to stupid narratives like that. They may not acknowledge or know that they're heroes right now. Each and every single one of you who do that, because the whole purpose of Gemini isn't about being right as much as it is about saying what you say to hear how it feels and to really just listen to what you're saying. Free independent thought. The value of your thoughts is transcending, especially understanding the mechanics of magic and how your thoughts are things and everything that you think really helps create your reality. And that also induces and includes your five senses ability to process physically everything you're thinking consciously and blah 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 blah. But relevantly though, you want to really be careful. I'm only mentioning this whole gun control psyop because this is just nothing compared to what's to come. Okay, I don't necessarily want to give the impression that I think it's impossible for stuff like this to happen. Way worse than it's being reported as happening in front of your very eyes too. But you want to really be more focused on this new moon as you come into full receptivity with Uranus of the unconventional, grounded, solid quality of how valuable you is. Literally, like there's an understanding that's gonna have you release outside opinions that just don't understand your value. You're really just gonna have that, especially with people who are committed to misunderstanding you because you trigger cognitive dissonance and insecurity. And so the best way for them to deal with that is to just make themselves feel better than you because you're just that fantastic, where you don't have to say a word, but you just make certain people uncomfortable because you force them to level their fucking shit up. You're just gonna accept, you know what? You're just not on my level. You're just not on my level. You're just not on my level, boo. I'm not gonna go down for you. You gotta meet me where I'm at. Catch up, honey. I ain't talking smack. What's up? Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's gonna feel like you're letting go of an anchor. It's literally gonna feel like you're releasing an anchor. And you know how magic works. As soon as you stop caring or whatever, boom, it switches. So are you going to put that anchor back on and be like, oh, I care about you again? Or are you going to be like, bish bounce, bye, bye bish. Yo, some people want to chase you and you're not really the chasing type. Not even like chasing people, like you're not the type to put people on a chase. So it's kind of weird that certain people want to chase you, but you're not letting them chase you. And if you feel like you don't want to play childish games, don't necessarily feel coerced to do that. Just recognize that dynamic. It's not wrong to have fun sometimes as well. So some of you may benefit by taking that up, but it's important to recognize it. And not only is it important to recognize, it's important to make sure you're not being influenced to do anything you don't want to do. That's also important too. And yeah, with that being said, stay woke, y'all. Really keep that in mind too. It's not a coincidence that the majority of these reports are stacked up in one country, and don't believe the narratives around it. There's some truth to it, but it's not the full truth. You have Gemini and Pisces, you don't have Sag and Virgo. So they're just showing you like half of an image. They're not showing you the full picture. They're not showing you everything behind it. Remember Ephesians 6:12, the cause is always spiritual first. So it's a lot darker. And it's not tied to just one thing, as you know. But what you will know is what you have to release, what anchors you're releasing, and this is going to make way for a brand new way to think that's going to change the game truly for you. Godspeed. Oh, and you're gonna understand a magical ability of yours for the first time ever. Peace.